Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Today, 22nd November 2024, Morning Murli, Bapdada Madhuban. And dear Brahmins, I would like to tell you one thing. This is the most teachable Murli, and most time I I have studied this is a very great teachings, even though every murli is very good and given directions by Shiv Baba directly, but this is a very fine. Okay, so read it properly and listen it properly. Essence: sweet children, to follow the father Srimat means to have regard for the father. Those who follow the dictates of their own minds have disregard for them. Okay, so in this direction Baba told one thing, that if you would like, or if you studied properly, that is the greatest regard. Okay, there is no need to touch the feet of god or deities. If you are followed deities properly and studied the teachings of these deities, then this is the regard. Likewise, if I can say that if you are if you would like to respect the teacher, so whatever teacher is teaching, respect it, study it. That is the greatest regard. So the father's regard is that means follow the father Srimad is the greatest regard. What does Baba not object to it in regard those who live at home with their families, but with direction does he give them? Baba says, children, by all means have connection with everyone. Do whatever job, etc. you have to do. You have to have connections with people. If you have to wear colored clothes, then do so. Baba does not object to this. The father only gives the direction. Children, remove your attachment from all bodily relations and your own bodies. Remember me. Om Shanti. Shiv Baba sits here and explains to you children, that is, he inspires you to make effort to become equal to him. Just as I am the ocean of knowledge, so you children also have to become the same. The sweet children know that not all of you will become the same. Each one of you has to make your own individual effort. Many students study at school, but they don't all pass with honors. Nevertheless, their teacher inspire them all to make effort. You children also make effort. When the father asks what you will become, you all reply, we have come here to become Narayan from an ordinary man and Lakshmi from an ordinary woman. That is all. But you have to look at your activity too. The Father is the highest on high. He is the teacher and the Guru. No one knows this Father. You children know that Shiv Baba is our Baba, teacher and Sadguru. However, it is difficult to understand him as he truly is. You might come to know the Father. You forget his role as the teacher and the Guru. You children also have to regard for the Father. What does it mean to have regard? To have regard means to study well that the which Father teaches. The Father is very sweet. Let the mercury of happiness rise high inside you. Let there be ecstatic happiness. Each of you has to ask yourself, do I have such happiness? Not everyone can be the same. There is also a vast difference in how everyone studies. In those schools too, there is a lot of difference. There it is a common teacher who teaches, whereas this one here is uncommon. There cannot be another teacher like this one. No one knows that the incorporeal father also becomes the teacher. Although they have used the name Sri Krishna, they don't even know that he can't be the father. Krishna is a deity. Many have the name Krishna. However, as soon as people say Krishna, the form of Sri Krishna comes in front of them. His bodily being, you know that this body does not belong to that one. He himself says, I have taken it on loan. This one was a human being. Therefore, he is still a human being now. He is not God, only the incorporeal one is God. He now explains so many secrets to you children. However, it is not yet possible for you to understand finally, fully the Father and the Teacher. You repeatedly forget. Your intellects are drawn to bodily beings, as yet your intellects don't have the faith that is finally the Father, Teacher, and Sadguru. You still forget. Would students ever forget their children? Those who live in a hostel would never forget. Students living in a hostel definitely remember firmly, whereas here you don't have that firm faith. Each of you is sitting in a hostel, number wise, according to your effort and all. Although you are all students, you do not have that firm faith. Baba knows that each of you is claiming your status according to your own individual efforts. In those studies become Some become barristers and others become engineers or doctors, teachers. Here you are becoming the masters of the world. Therefore, what should the intellects of such students be like? Their behavior and way of speaking has to be very good. The father explains, children, you must never cry. You are becoming the masters of the world. You must never cry out of distress. To cry out of distress is the highest, worst form of crying. The father says, those who cry are the ones who lose out. They lose the most elevated kingdom of the world. You say that you have come to change from an ordinary human into Narayan, but you don't behave accordingly. All of you are making effort. Number wise, some pass very well and claim a scholarship, whereas others fail. For all of you are number wise. Even amongst you, some studies and some don't study at all. People from villages don't like studying. However, if you ask them to cut grass, they will do that happily. They consider that to be having an independent life. They consider studying to be bondage. Many are like that. Even wealthy landowners, they consider themselves to be independent and very happy. At least it isn't called a job. Other people have to do job in an office, etc. The father is now teaching you, children, in order to make you into the masters of the world. He does not teach you in order to enable you to find a job. You are going to become the masters of the world through this study. This study is very elevated. You become the masters of the world, those who are totally independent. This is a very simple aspect. This is only study through which you can become such elevated emperors and empresses and pure too. You say that people of any religion can come and study here. They will understand that this study is very elevated. The father is teaching you in order to make you into the masters of the world. Your intellects have now become very broad and subtle. From limited intellects, your intellects have now become unlimited intellects. Number wise, according to the effort you make, you have a lot of happiness that you are making in others into the masters of the world. In fact, there are jobs there too. Maids and servants, etc., are all needed there. Those who do not study will carry the burden of those who have studies. This is why the father says, if you study very well, you can become this. You say that you will become this, but what will you become if you don't study? If you do not study, it means that you do not remember the father with that much regard. The father says, the more remembrance you have, the more your sins will be absolved. Teachers say, Baba, we have act according to your directions. The father will give us directions through this one. However, some don't even accept this one directions. They continue to follow the old rotten dictates of human beings. Although they can see that Shiv Baba is giving directions through this chariot, they still continue to follow their own dictates. They follow the dictates that only worth pennies and shells. By following the dictates of Ravan, you have now become the worthless as shells. Rama, Shiv Baba is now giving you directions. There is a victory through having faith. There will never be any loss in this. The father even change any loss into a profit, but only for those who intellects have faith. Those whose intellects have doubt will continue to choke inside. Okay, dear Brahmins, here Baba said that the father will even change any loss into a profit, but only for those whose intellects have faith. Those whose intellects have double or doubt will continue to choke inside. Those whose intellects have faith can never choke. They can never experience a loss. The father himself gives a guarantee there can never be a loss. When you follow Srimad, human dictates are called the dictates of godly beings. Here, they are only human dictates. It has been remembered that there are human instructions, God instructions, and instructions of the deities. You have now received God instructions through which you become deities from human beings. Then there in heaven, you only experience happiness. There is no sorrow. There is constant happiness. You have to experience that feeling at this time. You feel the future. This is now the most auspicious conference age when you receive Srimad. The father says, I come every cycle after cycle at the conference age. Only you know that one, you follow his directions. The father says, children, by all means stay at home with your families. Who says that you to change your clothes, etc., wear whatever you want? You have to have connections with many. There are no objections to your wearing colored clothes. You can wear whatever clothes you want. That has nothing to do with it. The father says, renounce the consciousness of bodies and all bodily relations. You can wear whatever you want. Simply consider yourself to be souls and remember the father. Let there be this firm faith. You also know that it is soul that become pure from impure. A Mahatma is called a great soul. Great supreme soul is never said. It does not sound right to say that. These are such good points to understand. The Sadguru who grants salvations to everyone in the one father. Untimely death never takes place there. You children now understand that Baba is making into the deities once again. Previously, this was not in your intellects. You didn't even know that the duration of each cycle is. You have now been reminded of everything. You children also know that it is souls that are called sinful souls or charitable souls. Sinful supreme soul is never said. To say that God is omnipresent is such senseless. The father sits here and explains these. You now understand that the Father alone comes every 5,000 years to change you from sinful souls into charitable souls. He doesn't only change one, He changes all of you children. The Father, sinful soul, the Father sits here and explains this. You are now understanding the Father alone comes every 5,000 years to change you from sinful souls into charitable souls. He doesn't only change one, He changes all of you children. The Father says, I am the unlimited Father who changes you in children. I would surely give you children unlimited happiness. In the golden age there are only pure souls. It is by conquering Ravan that you become pure charitable souls. If you feel how many obstacles Maya creates, she completely suffocates you. You understand how a war takes place with Maya, but they have shown a war between the Kauravas and Pandavas and shown their armies, etc. No one knows about this war. It is incognito. Only you know that you souls have to battle with Maya. The father says you lust, that lust is your greatest enemy. You attain victory over it, and with the power of yoga, no one understand the meaning of the power of yoga. Those who were Satopradhan are the ones who have become Tamopradhan. The Father himself says, I enter this one at the end of last birth of his many birth. He has become Tamopradhan, and the same applies to you too. The Father does not say this to only me, only one. He says that this to everyone number wise. You understand who will claim that number wise. As you progress further, you will come to know how much. You will be given a vision of rosary. When children in a school are transferred, they come to know everything when they are given their results. Baba asked the child, where did your examinations papers come from? The child said, from London. Where will your papers come from? Now your papers will come from up above. You will have visions of everything. This is such a wonderful study. No one knows who teaches you. They say God Krishna speaks. Everyone studies number wise, and so their happiness is also number wise. It has been remembered that if you want to know about super senses joy, ask the gopis and gopis. This is the stage of at the end. The father has explained that even though he knows that his child is never going to fall, one can never tell what will happen. They don't study. It is not in their fortune. If they were given the slightest sign that they could go and set up their home, they would quickly go into that world. They go from one extreme to the father. Their behavior, their manners of speaking also becomes according to that. They think that if they were to receive a certain amount, they could go and live separately. This is understood from their behavior there. This means that they don't have faith and they sit here out of desperation. There are many who don't even understand the first letter of this knowledge. Some don't even sit down to study. Maya does not allow them to study. There are such souls at the centers. They never come to study. It is a wonder. This is a such elevated knowledge God is teaching you. When Baba tells you not to do something, they don't listen, and that they still perform wrong actions. A kingdom is being established, and so all type of needed are needed there. From the top up the bottom, there is a difference in the status. Here too status is number wise. What difference then? There the lifespan are long and there is happiness, whereas here the lifespan are short and there is sorrow. These wonderful aspects are in the intellects of you children. Look how this drama is created. Each of you plays the same part every cycle. You continue to play it cycle after cycle. Such tiny souls are filled with huge parts. Souls adopt the same feature and have the same activity. The cycle of world continues to turn. That which is predestined is taking place. This cycle will repeat again. You will pass through the stages of Sato Pradhan, Sato Rajo, Tamo. This, there is nothing to be confused about in this. Okay, do you consider yourself to be souls? You understand that the Father is now of all soul is Shiv Baba. Those who become Satopradhan are the ones who become Tamopradhan once again. Then by remembering the Father, you will again become Satopradhan. This is good. You should stop at this point. Then tell them that the unlimited Father gives you this inheritance of heaven. He alone is the purifier. The Father gives this knowledge. There is no question of scriptures, etc. In this, where did the scriptures come from? In the beginning, it is when there is expansion that scriptures are created. There are no scriptures in the golden age. There is nothing like tradition. The name and form will change. Acha. To the sweetest beloved long lost now, now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, the baptism. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual father. Essence, you must never cry out of distress. Let it remain into let that you are the ones who are to become the masters of the world, and so your activity and your way of speaking have to be very good. You must never cry. Be the ones whose intellects have faith and continue to follow the father instructions. Never become confused or choke. This is the victory by having faith. Therefore do not follow your own dictates. They are only worth pennies. Blessing. May you become worthy of receiving blessings from all and transform yourself by putting a full stop to any situations. Repeat, may you become a worthy of receiving blessings from all and transform yourself by putting a full stop to any situations. You can put a full stop at any situation to any situation with controlling power when you have the awareness of the Father, the point form and the point from all souls of point form of souls, the children who transform themselves in any situation and who offer to put a full stop become worthy of receiving blessing. They receive blessings from themselves, that is, they receive happiness, and they also receive blessings from the father and Brahmin family. Slogan: put a stamp of determination every now and then on the thoughts you create, and you will be victorious. Thank you, Baba. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Love you.